Good morning, Wedgwood. Welcome to our exciting service this morning. This is a celebration of Black history. We know it is Black History Month, but at Wedgwood, we don't celebrate Black history for 1 month. We celebrate Black history every day, every week, every month of the year. So we're going to just call it Black History Celebration. We are glad you are here with us this morning, and Liz will get us started with announcements.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Like Melba said, we are so glad that you are here with us on this beautiful February Sunday. The sun is shining, and we are so excited to have you all here for our Black History celebration. We have just a few announcements and upcoming events, so I'll be brief. Next Sunday, February 27th, we have Never Going Home Again, the criminal justice system locking up Black lives with Sharif Ingram. And this is going to be a really powerful talk because Sharif was sentenced to life in prison at the age of 15, and he's going to be sharing his personal story and his experiences. So we've got some really, really powerful talks today and coming up, and you definitely don't want to miss them. And in March, we have Lawana Mayfield, who is the former Charlotte City Council member from 2011 to 2019 for District 3, and is also going to be kicking off Women's History Month. And then on Sunday, March 13th, we have immigration attorney and former member of Wedgwood, Ben Snyder, will be speaking. Our Wedgwood Community Garden, we have kicked off the season in that we have some seeds that were donated, and I have them sprouting. And in a couple of weeks, we're going to be planting them in the beds. So if anyone is interested in coming out to till the beds and get them ready, because they don't look as pretty as they do in the picture, we let them grow over for the winter, and now it's coming up with the weather warming up. It's going to be coming up time soon for us to get planting. So if you're interested in getting involved with the community garden, feel free to reach out, because all of the food grown in our garden plots actually goes to support our community food pantry. Speaking of the community food pantry, we have some needs. Please note the changes. I decided to highlight our toiletry and snack needs that are our biggest needs right now. We need soap, toothpaste, toothbrushes, toilet paper, hand wipes, baby wipes, shampoo, conditioner, shaving cream, shaving razors, snacks. And especially, this is really important for our walk-ups, because we have a lot of walkers who are maybe walking to the bus stop or live in some nearby tent cities. The reusable grocery bags with the handles are a big need of ours, because it's much easier for folks to be able to carry food that way, and they can also reuse them as well. So if you are interested in donating any of the items on this list, we would certainly appreciate it. Our next Social Justice Book Club meeting will be Thursday, February 24th at 7 p.m. We're continuing to read Say Their Names, How Black Lives Came to Matter in America by Patrice Gaines, who is a member of our book club. For our next meeting, please read through page 291. And connect with us. We are on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we have our website, and you can also email us or call us. And friendly reminder that we have a weekly newsletter. And if you are not signed up for that newsletter, let us know and we'll make sure to get you on that list. And if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, want to participate more actively in the life of Wedgwood, whatever the reason, we would love to hear from you. And so you can reach out at the phone number listed or at the email address listed. Melba Evans is our ministerial coordinator. I am Liz Shobe, and I am the community outreach coordinator. And Ashanti Munir is our very own music coordinator. We also ask that you continue to give to support the ministries of this church community. I put the link in the chat for more information, but you can mail your donations to the church. You can also give through Venmo, you can give through PayPal, and you can also give through Zelle. Thank you very much. And next up, we have our prelude.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tribute. And so many more that could have been in that video. And Thomas will lead us in our extravagant welcome.
We are all welcome here. Welcome to a church that works for peace, justice, equality, and the care of Mother Earth. An extravagant welcome to you because of your gender identification, sexual orientation, ethnicity, economic situation, physical and mental challenges, doubting or believing, being depressed or full of joy. We are a community of curious and creative spiritual seekers striving to learn and embody the way of Jesus and other spiritual leaders. Like Jesus, we focus on the plundered and marginalized as we try to address the major issues of our day. One of the ways we seek to heal the world and ourselves is through sharing parts of our personal story. We are all welcome here.
Yes, we are all welcome here. Our words of wisdom today is the poem by Langston Hughes, The Negro Speaks of Rivers. And it traces Black history from the beginning of human civilization to the present, encompassing both triumphs, like the construction of the Egyptian pyramids, and the horrors, like American slavery. The poem argues that the Black soul has incorporated all of their historical experience, and in the process, the soul has become deep. The poem will be read by Raquel Buchanan.
The Negro speaks of rivers. I've known rivers. I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of the human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. I heard the singing of the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans. And I've seen its muddy bosom turn, all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient, dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. Thank you.
Amen. And now Liz will have our moment for all ages.
Yes, thank you. So if anyone has any little ones or big ones, we have a message for all ages this morning. Good morning. Hey, Gavin. Hey, friends.
Good morning, Gavin.
Wait a minute, then you go. Say good morning again, babe.
Good morning.
Okay, there you go.
Good morning. Gavin, what month is this?
You know what month this is?
February.
Yes, it's February. Good job, buddy. And can you tell me what is so special about this month?
What was special about this month?
Valentine's Day.
Yep, we had Valentine's Day. That was pretty special.
Yeah.
What else is special about this month?
Chase's birthday.
Chase's birthday
Oh, Chase's birthday?
was on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And do you know?
And he's 11.
Wow. Well, tell Chase I said a big happy birthday. Do you know what we're celebrating today here at Wedgwood?
No.
Black History Month.
Black History Month.
That's right. That's exactly right. So smart. And it's important to celebrate Black history all year round. But February is a time for us to be extra intentional about highlighting the important contributions that Black Americans have made to this country. And to also never forget some of the not so great parts of our history too, right? So I thought, because you are so smart, Gavin, that it would be fun to also hear from some other kids about why Black History Month exists and why celebrating Black History Month, not just in February, but all year round, is so important. From
I
the
love that. I love to hear from the kids and what they're thinking.
yeah,
What do you think of
it's one of
that?
those things that
Okay.
reminds you, like, the kids really get it. And so it's really important for us to, it's okay to celebrate some of the great things that have happened, but it's also important for us to remember that we have a long way to go and that we have to do this together. We can't just do this by ourselves. And that it's also important to not erase history like some people want us to do right now. We have to acknowledge the reality, because if we don't do that, then we can't make a better future. So as we finish up February and go into the rest of the year, let's remember to always celebrate the achievements of Black Americans, to remember how far we've come, and to also remember just how far we still have to go.
I was just teaching about Harriet Tubman. I asked him what he knew about it. He said she was a nice lady and she helped people that were lost. So we have to go in a little bit more detail.
Yeah. And it's definitely important to have age appropriate conversations, but
Yeah.
and I was thinking of putting together a book list, and I can post it on our Facebook page of some age appropriate books to talk to kids about, the importance of history and the achievements of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liz. That was beautiful.
Mhm.
Amen. Amen to all of that. And now we come to our time for celebrations and concerns, prayer, meditation, reflections, wherever your beliefs lead you. We want to celebrate this morning, so get ready. Raquel Buchanan passed her Series 7 test this week. Yay!
Thank
Raquel,
you, thank
tell
you.
us a little bit about the Series 7 test, because everybody doesn't know about that.
Sure. The Series 7 test is a top-off exam that you take in order to be a certified, registered financial advisor. And it was extremely hard, and it really pushed me because I was never good at math, but that was just in my head. So I've learned so much, and I can't wait to be able to use these skills to help other people in my life. And I'm just so grateful, and I appreciate everybody's prayers and their thoughts. It just reminds me, our Creator will never bring you to a situation and not bring you through it. So I appreciate you guys being there for me and your support and kind words. So thank you.
We are so happy. Raquel's been studying for this test, and she messaged me and said, I'm taking the test today. I said, I'm praying. And we're all praying, and we're all celebrating now, and this is just absolutely wonderful.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Mariah will be taking her driving test coming up. She had the date wrong, so we will keep lifting her up and ourselves up for when she gets her license, that we can all remain safe on the roads. So Mariah, we're remembering you too. We want to remember Brad this morning, and Betsy. Brad is having a very bad day, and Betsy messaged Donna this morning that he had received the cards that people sent, and one was sent from the church, and we had asked individuals to send him a card, and if you haven't, it is not too late. The address is in the last week before this newsletter, so you can still send him a card, and he really just appreciates you saying, I am praying for you. It lifts his spirit to know that, so let's remember them today. Erin McQuarrie's family, the family of Laura, still dealing with health challenges, so we'll continue to remember them. Connie's dear friend, Dr. Dolores Finger Wright, who is suffering from COVID for the third time, breakthrough case, fully vaccinated, and having a really rough time this time. Connie, any kind of update?
Yes, she was moved from the hospital. she's in rehab now.
Good.
Yeah, still, it's a rocky road, but she's left the hospital.
Well, you let her know we're thinking about her. She's been a visitor to Wedgwood, so we all know Dr. Wright.
Thank you.
Want to lift up Donna Carter as she goes through her health challenges, and as we all know, she is hospice is working with her now, and the Wedgwood Church sent her. I sent flowers from Wedgwood Church to her for Valentine's Day with a "We love you," and she said, "I cannot remember when anybody sent me flowers." So she was so happy and so excited to receive those flowers. So send her a card anytime you get a minute. She loves getting cards. She's on Facebook from time to time, not as much as she used to be. But if you message her on Facebook, she will get your message and respond. And she'll probably make you laugh. That's just who she is. And we want to remember Naj, moved to her new apartment. We're excited about that, and we're thankful that Ashanti got back safely from Boston.
Yeah, everything went well. The apartment's nice, and I cleaned it up and organized everything for her. So I'm very thankful. She's very thankful, and sent her bought her a new microwave and a new toaster oven that matches her decor. So very relieved to have her in her new spot. Thank you guys for your prayers.
And I think near to all of our hearts today is the situation in the Ukraine on the border. There just are no words, and we were talking before the service. We feel so helpless. We just feel like, what can we do? And I think prayer is probably the only thing we can do. And any ways we find to let the Ukrainian people know that we stand with them. But let's keep remembering the Ukrainians. I'm sure all of us already are. Are there any other celebrations or concerns?
Yeah, I have one. I want to celebrate the fact that my sister is applying for graduate schools. She's going to be a speech pathologist, and she works in the speech pathology field now, but she's going to go and get her master's. And so she's in that process of applying, which she's really nervous and excited about. So I'm going to celebrate her, but also prayers that she gets into all the schools and gets all the funding, and that it goes well.
Yeah.
Any others?
I'd like to say something, Melba, and I think I never understood until I had to do the presentation for Martin Luther King. Liz is remarkable.
She is really.
I mean, the things that she puts together, and I just don't say I say what's on my mind, Liz. You do a yeoman's job, and I mean, I don't know where she gets all that stuff, but it takes a lot of work to put that what she puts together.
Yes, it does.
Truly, in my heart of hearts, I appreciate what you do. Thank
And then
you.
Yes, we all do, Liz.
Yeah, and then she does the food pantry on top of that.
I'm just talking right now. I know she does that, but to do all that internet formulation of all of those pictures and what have you, that takes a lot. I mean, I used to really be involved in computers, but I realized she was so patient with me when I was doing the presentation, because I kept changing my mind, and she'd come up and find something else. So I truly, every time I see it, I said, I need to say something. So I'm saying, Liz, you are phenomenal, and thank you so much.
Thank you. And I have some really phenomenal coworkers. Ashanti obviously brings down the house every week, but especially Melba. I feel like we text each other every single day about stuff, because there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to keep a church running that people don't see. And you know, I may be the arms of getting things done, but Melba's the heart, and I wouldn't be here without Melba.
Thank you. We work together as a good team, the three of us. We powerful women, right?
Yeah. We might drive each other a little nuts at times, but it's because we love Wedgwood so much.
Yes, absolutely. Any others? Well, we'll take a few minutes of silence. If prayer is part of your belief, then please use this time to pray for the things we've mentioned. Meditation, self-reflection, just a time to be quiet and sit in silence. Whatever your faith beliefs are, we'll have a few minutes of silence for you to use those. Thank you. Amen. And now we go to the history of sweet baskets, drums, and dance, a celebration of Black history, led by Ashanti Munir and Professor Bradley Simmons. Ashanti, as we all know, is a longtime member of Wedgwood Community Church and is our music coordinator. Ashanti is a talented independent soul singer from Boston, Massachusetts. She is an international recording artist and songwriter. Her smooth, sultry voice has won over the European soul music charts and is quickly spreading around the US. She remains in the top 10 of soul in the United Kingdom. And following Ashanti will be Professor Bradley Simmons. Bradley is an artistic musical legend. He is a professor and musical director at Duke University, specializing in Afro, Cuban, and African percussion. Professor Simmons and his musical works in arts and entertainment stretch all over the United States. His teachings to musicians all over have created paths for them to thrive in the music and art industry. We welcome Professor Simmons to Wedgwood this Sunday to help us celebrate Black history.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melba, for that wonderful introduction. And I am excited to give you the history of the sweet grass baskets. I visited South Carolina for the first time, Charleston, South Carolina for the first time last year around my birthday. Just wanted to go somewhere. I had a new car. I just wanted to drive and just celebrate my birthday. So we ended up going to South Carolina, Charleston, where in the middle of the town, there was baskets, and I needed to know about these baskets. They were so beautiful. So this is the history, a short history of sweet grass baskets. The coiled sweet grass baskets is a historically significant example of African culture heritage that has transported across the Atlantic by enslaved African people. When the African people came here to the United States, they were not slaves. They were forced to be slaves. I just wanted to mention that. They were kings and queens and have intricate specialties that they brought with them. So they did not come as slaves. So Africans from the Windward or rice coast of West Africa had knowledge and experience with rice cultivation, and that is the reason why they were particularly sought after in the Atlantic slave trade to the low country of South Carolina. They saw this big basket. I saw the African natives using a big round basket. And they saw what they would use in this basket to cultivate the rice. It's a big round one about this size, and it's sort of flat. So they can dig into the water and then shake it and remove the grain from the husk. So the slave masters, the European people, saw this and decided that we need to bring this to the Low Country. But they couldn't bring that tool unless they brought the people that made that tool. Fearing that they may not ever return to their motherland, these enslaved people brought their culture with them in their minds, spirits, and in objects hidden away on their bodies. Coil basketry, one of the oldest African crafts in America, appeared in South Carolina during the 17th century. The first baskets in the Low Country were called fanner baskets, the one I was just talking about, the big round basket, used for winnowing the rice. Originally designed as a tool for rice production and processing, baskets had a very real and significant cultural connection to the stolen Africans. These fanner baskets were used in planting and harvesting the coastal money crops, such as rice, cotton, and other raw materials. Agricultural baskets were made of bulrush, sweetgrass, and split oak. In 1863, after the Emancipation Proclamation, the African people and their families were displaced from Texas all the way down to Florida. And since these baskets were all throughout the Deep South, the displaced Africans were able to locate their family members by the patterns and knots that were weaved in the baskets. Is that amazing? So amazing that they put their information into the baskets, because each basket is made differently and to the different artists. After the 1890s, sweetgrass baskets began to evolve from agricultural implements to household items. Sweetgrass is a softer, finer straw, replaced the bulrush as the primary material. Long leaf pine needles were added for contrast, and the palmetto replaced split oak as binders. Liz, could you show a picture of that basket that you just showed? And this is what some of the basket looks like. These are very intricate baskets, and these baskets will take months to create and to finish. Notice the weave, look, notice how they curve. That takes a long time to make it curve and do all these fancy things. And the pine needles are the brown ones. See the dark brown? And then the palmetto is sort of the light one. And then you really can't see the sweetgrass, but it's sort of like a light tan. But that's all three of those together. Long pine needles, palmetto, and sweetgrass. And I have my basket here that I bought. And this is called the coil basket. And see, it starts off here with a little knot, and then it coils all the way around until it is completed. This one took 3 months.
Wow. Beautiful.
It's pretty big. I can put my hand in so you can see how big it is. And I love this basket, and the artist, Donald Scott, he signed it for me. And he gave me the history as well as we stood there. So those are called the coil baskets. Let's see where I am now. Sweet basket sewing is reviewed as a gift from God. The craft, handed down from generation to generation, is usually learned from childhood. I spoke to Donald Scott, and he said that he tried to teach his children to get interested in it, but he says the young people, they are not interested in it because it's too intricate. It takes patience, and it takes a long time. And they want to do computers and all of that stuff. So they say that this is a dying art. So they're trying to keep it alive. The craft handed down from generation to generation is usually learned from childhood. Baskets require a great deal of patience and creativity, as there are no set patterns. Each piece is unique and each artist develops his or her own style. Basket makers pledge to continue their traditional craft as long as there are raw materials available. But since the development of rural areas is threatening the supply. Sweetgrass also symbolizes healing, peace, spirituality in native cultures, and braids of sweetgrass are sometimes left as offerings at graves and sacred sites. Sweetgrass is also one of the herbs frequently included in medicine bundles and amulets. The bulrush and palm are ancient plants, and they are mentioned in the Bible several times, where Moses' mother made a basket from bulrush and put him in it and laid him in the reeds of the Nile's riverbanks. The sweetgrass basket surged with the opening of the Grace Memorial Bridge in 1929 and the paving of the Highway 17 in 1931. The Mount Pleasant area basket makers began a long-standing tradition when one of the ladies of vision, Lottie Moultrie Swinton, soon followed by her friend Lydia Spann Craddock, placed their chairs along the highway to display the baskets for sale. Thus, this began the roadside basket stands were born. Sweetgrass baskets are very durable, as I showed you. These uses range from practical daily use to showpieces. And the picture that Liz showed, those are the showpieces. Those are the real fancy ones that take 3 to 6 months to complete. The basket makers and their baskets are major tourist attraction in the Low Country. Today, sweetgrass baskets are displayed for sale on roadside stands along Highway 17, just north of Mount Pleasant and the Charleston and the Four Corners of Law at Broad and Meeting Streets and in the city market. In 1997, a historical marker was erected to commemorate the legacy and history of the sweetgrass baskets and their makers. The marker was placed at the intersection of Hamlin Road and Highway 17 and the 7-mile section of Mount Pleasant on the site of the first basket stand with the original Sweetgrass Basket Society. The state of South Carolina named Sweetgrass Baskets the official state handcraft in 2006. The same year, a portion of Highway 17 was designated as the Sweetgrass Basket Makers Highway. And that is a short history of the sweetgrass basket. There is several books that you could look up more intricate information regarding the sweetgrass baskets. And there's also several books that are in the Harvey B. Gantt gift store about the sweetgrass baskets as well. Do anyone have any questions regarding the baskets or any questions about the history of them? I'm not an expert, but I did read a lot of it about it. No? Well, if you have any questions, just put it down in the chat and I'll answer them for you. If I don't have the answer now, then I will find them for you. So now, I am so happy to welcome Brother Bradley Simmons. I met Brother Brad. Well, I didn't meet him yet, actually. I was looking for a conga player and I was asking for a conga player on Facebook. And so several people gave me some names and I called one guy and he wasn't available. And he told me to call Bradley Simmons. I called Bradley Simmons and he was just as if we had met already and just as warm and friendly and open. And he received me as if we were just brothers and sisters. So we had been friends for years. So I thank you, Brother Bradley, for coming to the church and showing us your expertise in your craft. Welcome, everyone, Brother Bradley Simmons of Duke University.
Thank you. How's everybody doing?
Doing wonderful.
Good.
During this crazy time that we living in.
Yes.
We're still blessed.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I guess my topic is on African drum and dance in America. And I talk about this quite often because a lot of people today that's involved in the drumming and dancing don't really know the history as to how it started here in this country. And it got started it dates back as far as 1929. And the guy who really introduced African drum and dance to the United States is a guy by the name of Asadata Dafora, who was originally from Sierra Leone. And he came in as a drummer and a dancer. And this, I'm gonna show you this picture. See if y'all can see it or not.
Mhm.
Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, now let me, this is Asadata right here on this side. And then over here is Asadata again.
Yes.
But now the dancer, do y'all recognize who that dancer is on the bottom, on the floor in front of him?
No.
Okay.
Maya Angelou?
No, but close enough. Well, let's go to the TV series Good Times. That's that's Esther Rose.
Esther Rose?
Oh,
Yes, that's Esther Rose. Esther Rose started out as a dancer first before she got into acting.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's Esther Rose right there in front of Asadata Dafora.
She's pretty.
Yeah.
And then she, her and her sister both was in that group together with him. And so from there, you know, different companies started to evolve. And after Asadata Dafora came in, he was performing around the city area. He worked with a drummer by the name of Moses Mianes, who was from Ghana. Moses, let's see, this is that's Moses Mianes right here. That was one of his drummers back then. And Moses played with a lot of people. He also played with Catherine Dunham as well. And again, the other groups that was being put together, you know, back in the 30s and 40s was Catherine Dunham. She put her own group together. She came out of East St. Louis. And then, of course, you know her from the TV, the movie, Stormy Weather. Her company was in Stormy Weather with Bill Bojangles Robinson. Lena Hornes was in that movie.
Yes.
And all the dancers were Joe Nash. I can't think of the names right now. There's a lot of dancers from back then that was part of that movie. But, you know, all of them came up in there. And then the drummers, again, we had my teachers that used to be with Ola Tunji's group, Robert Chief Bay, and then there was Richard Pablo Landrum, Sonny Morgan, Stacey Edwards, Denny Zulu at the time. And these are the drummers that actually made Ola Tunji. And his first album was called Drums of Passion. This is his second album called More Drums of Passion. Now, all the drummers right here that you can see was part of his group. All of them are deceased as we speak today. Wow. But the one drummer that you can't see his face, he's leaning over right here in yellow. His name is Chief Bay. At first, he was an opera singer. He was in the original cast of Porgy and Bess with Leontine Price, Cab Calloway, William Warfield, and you mentioned Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou was in that production back then, and this was in the 50s. From there, then other groups kicked in the 60s, and we have this guy, LaRock Bay. LaRock Bay came out of Detroit. He came to New York in in 1960. He started teaching at the CBS building in New York on 52nd Street. He was doing classes there, and then he started teaching in Queens at the Gloria Jackson School of Dance. And then from there, he opened up his own seat. He's the one that actually pushed all of us to be where we are today. And when I was working with him, I started playing in his company in 1967. And I was 14, 15 years old at the time. And it was like being in boot camp because he really pushed us hard. Now, I started playing in the same year that he came to New York, and I was 8 or 9 years old when I started playing. But actually, I started out as a tap dancer first. That was my first love, tap. And then from there, I discovered that they had drum classes going on there, and they had a drum group that came out and performed in one of the concerts. Watched them from backstage, and then that year, when I got home from the concert, I told my mother, "Look, this is what I want to do, right there. Put me on the drums. Take me out of the tap, and put me on the drums." But I actually stayed into the tap class for at least 10 more years after that. And then I just said, "Okay, I'm hanging up the shoes right now. Boom, go away." And then the drumming just stayed with me up until where we are today. From there, we had this is when I was playing at the Gloria Jackson School of Dance. That's me on over here. That was early 60s. No, late 60s, early 70s, just before I got out of high school, right on that picture. Here, then Chuck Davis moved to New York in 1963. He moved to New York because he was a student. He went to Howard University. After he left Howard, he came to New York, and he just wanted to come to New York to explore because originally he's from Raleigh, North Carolina. When he got to New York, he went to a club to see Olatunji's group perform. And while he was there, because Chuck, he's 6'6", so he was very noticeable. And Olatunji noticed him out on the dance floor and went up to him right there on the spot and said, "I want you in my dance company." And that's how Chuck Davis got started in dance. And this is Baba Chuck Davis right here. Can you see that?
He's very tall.
Yeah. He's like 6'6". And
Brother Bradley, I wanted to for you to show your drums.
Okay.
Can you show them your drums with the cowrie shells on there? I really wanted them to see that.
Okay, 1 second.
Okay.
Here's one of them right here. Can you see that?
A little bit, yeah.
Down a little bit.
Do I need
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
up or down?
Down.
Oh, nice.
All right. And
Ooh.
tell them about that drum and tell them about the cowrie shells and let them hear
Okay.
that drum. Let them hear that drum.
That particular drum. Hold on. Let me try this here. I got one in front of me right now.
I really wanted to see the drums. There you go.
That's another.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. The cowrie shell. This is the conga drum. Okay. This is what the conga drum looks like. Which the conga drum originated from Cuba, and it was brought over here in the 40s by a guy named Chano Pozo. Chano Pozo came over to actually play with Dizzy Gillespie. He was in Dizzy Gillespie's band, but he had a short life. He got killed in New York, in Harlem. And so the drum actually stopped. Nobody else was playing it because he was the only one that actually knew how to play it. Because when Dizzy was trying to put Latin jazz together, he was asking around where can he find a conga player? And they told him he had to go to Cuba to get one. So this is it.
Yeah, give us some wah wah cool or something.
Wah cool?
Wah wah cool. Yes, that's what I wanted to hear.
Okay,
Yes.
so let me take you around here. Okay. So, and the original name for the conga drum it really wasn't called conga first. The original name for the conga drum is called the Ikamo Mombisa, but the conga drum comes out of the Congo, Central Africa. Okay. It became the Tumbad order when it got into Cuba, because that's where all the slave Africans, they migrated into Cuba. And so they renamed the drum to Tumbad order. By the time it came to the United States, it became the conga drum. So now what you saw was that one drum. Can you see those over there in the corner?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, that's the congas there. Now I'm gonna move to the left, right? In front of the fire, there's 3 more congas, but in front of those congas are known as the djembes.
Yeah, yeah. Can you play one of the djembes?
Well, they all in bags right now.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, they're all in bags, so I have to pull them out. But the djembe drum came to this country in 1959. Let me move around here. Okay, down on the floor, and let me know if you can see these or not.
Go down. Okay, right there. Yes. Go down a little bit more. Right there. Oh, yeah.
Those are my shakerays.
Shakerays.
Uh-huh. And there's a history behind that. I'll tell you that in a few minutes. Okay, I got about 15 of them. The shakerays, what was I talking about? The djembe. The djembe came to this country in 1959. The Le Ballet Africain company was performing at the Apollo Theater during that time. And when that week was up, they all left to go back home to Guinea, because that's where the Le Ballet is from, Guinea, West Africa. Now the djembe is played in Mali, Guinea, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and the Ivory Coast. Mostly in West Africa, that's where the drum is mostly played, because it comes out of the Malian Empire. Now, how the drum literally got here was, there's a guy by the name of Laji Kamara who is standing right here. Let me see if he is. That's Laji Kamara right there. He was the one that brought the djembe to this country and introduced it to this country in 1959. But it didn't really catch on until the mid to late 60s, during the 64, 65 World's Fair in Queens, New York. Laji, when he went back home, he was summoned to come back to the United States to put a group together. Well, when he got back here, that whole project fell apart. Then he got stuck in New York. He couldn't get back home. So one of the drummers, Baba Chief Bey, decided to help him get his green card so he could stay here. He stayed, and when he got his green card, he stayed, put his own group together, and he had stayed here up until he got sick and he had to go back home. And he actually went back to Senegal, and then he passed away over there. So that's how the djembe got to this country first. But Olatunji, his company got started by way of a drummer named Taiwo Duval. And Taiwo Duval helped him put his company together, because they used to work together in an advertising agency. They didn't know each other before then, but when they met at this advertising agency, Tunji said, well, you play drums and I know the language and I can also sing, so let's go around and do gigs together in different clubs. And that's how he got started. And then they started building from there. To make a long story short, He started building his company up from there to where it was up until he passed.
Okay,
So
we got, Brother Bradley, we're gonna have to wrap it up, but I want you to play the drum just one more time for us, so we close out
Can you
with
play the shakers?
Oh yeah, the shaker ray. What about the shaker rays? And the shaker rays are made out of calabash. Am I right, Brother Bradley? Different, like a calabash. Is that the right word?
That's the correct word,
All right,
calabash.
so
Yeah.
the calabash is like a squash, like a gourd.
Oh,
And so
okay.
they come really big, and so they can clean out the gourd, and then they put the beads around it, and you call it a shaker ray. You shake it.
Yeah.
Shake it. Yeah, and they come in different sizes, just like squash does. You know, like the butternut squash.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that. Same type of vegetable. So
Exactly. That's
Show us
exactly
how to play them.
That's exactly what it is, a squash. But what you got to do is once you grow it, it grows green. But when you pull it off the stem, you got to let it sit.
Let it sit.
And let the color change to this color here.
Right. Oh yes. Oh, that's so beautiful. Show them how you play that. Show them how you play that. Yes. Yes.
That's
Oh,
the shaker.
wow.
All right.
They come in different sizes, like you said.
Yeah.
And you can put either plastic beads on it, or you can put glass beads. So this particular one that I just got through playing has glass beads on it. This one here, hold on. This one has plastic beads on it.
Oh, I love it.
Okay,
Beautiful.
so it's not quite as loud as the other one because the glass is going to be much louder.
Right.
But this one here, and it's also much lighter too in terms of weight.
Yeah.
So you got all different types of shaker rays. They come in large, very large, extra large,
and small.
And small. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Brother Bradley. You guys give him a round of applause for that wonderful history. It's a big history. It's a big history.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Time is so short, but yeah.
Yes, I know time is so
We
short.
We have to have him back again.
Yes, definitely. Most definitely.
So much more we need to learn.
That's so much more. Yeah. We could take sections of it. So thank you so much, Brother Bradley. I'm so glad that you were able to join us today and you kept your word as you said you would. And I appreciate you so much. So this song is called When We Were Kings. I'm going to take these out. And so I hope you all enjoy this song. Thank you, Brother Bradley.
Thank you.
Can you hear? In every heart, there is a drum that beats steady and strong. It does not know defeat. I feel it proud and know the sound of true belief. In every soul, there is a memory of standing tall. The proudest we could be, I cannot fall. 'Cause I recall we were born in majesty. And when the long fight has been fought and won, we'll stand in the sun. And we will raise our hands and we will touch the sky. Together we will dance in rows of gold. And we will leave the world remembering when we were kings. When we were kings. And it's the kind, there is the mountaintop. When one man climbs, the rest are lifted up with every step. We're closer, yeah, to a higher destiny.
And when we reach out to claim our throne, everywhere we'll flow, and we will raise our hands, and we will touch the sky. Together we will dance in rows of gold, and we will lead the world remembering when we were kings, when we were kings and queens. You know what I mean? Oh, when we were kings. When the long road has been fought and won, we'll stand in the sun, and we can raise our hands, and we can touch the sky. Together we will dance in rows of gold, and we will lead the world remembering when we were kings, when we were kings and queens. Do you remember? I remember. My soul remembers. Do you remember? Yeah, goes like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Well, I remember. I remember. Ooh, we were kings when we were kings. Ooh, when we were kings. I remember. I remember when we were kings.
Beautiful, beautiful. Before we go to our benediction, I just want to say thank you to Professor Simmons and to Ashanti for your time today, for your expertise, for your teaching us. We all have so very much to learn. And we are ashamed of a lot of the past, but what we have to focus on today is the achievements of the African Americans to the world and to this great country. So many achievements that none of us were taught and none of us know about. So we appreciate you sharing that. And that's what we focus on today. And I want to say to Bradley and to Ashanti, thank you for your contributions to the communities in which you live, to Westwood Community Church, and to all of our church members of African American heritage. We love you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I know I speak for every person in Westwood Church without hesitation. We love you. We're glad you are here. And we appreciate your contributions to our community.
Ashe.
Thank you.
And Connie will now lead us in our benediction.
Brothers and sisters, your dreams should not go unnoticed. God knows your dreams. Now dare to dream out loud so the world may discover what you and God can do. Release every God's given dream so that others may be inspired to do likewise. To the authors of every good and noble dream, we give all honor and praise, all mine, and thank you and have a great, great, great week.
Thank you, Miss Connie.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Walk in love and peace.